Hello beautiful soul, thank you for clicking on this video. We are going to talk about bad habits that impact negatively your mental health. Maybe you are not aware you have them yet. If so, it will help to know if you do or not. That way, you can free yourself from them. And if you are already aware of those habits, let's see together how we can get rid of them. I hope that what I have to say will help you heal and grow and live your best life. Without further ado, let's dive into it. So let's talk about this first one while I'm putting my makeup on. This is something I have been guilty of for years. You start criticizing yourself as a joke. It's this habit of making a joke about yourself, about something you feel uncomfortable about. For example, your weight, your career, or your money situation. In order to protect yourself, you just laugh it out when the subject is brought up so that it doesn't look that serious. The problem with this is that with repetition, our brain, starts to really believe those jokes. They start to believe that, yes, that's really who you are, and it becomes part of your identity. What once was a joke became a reality. And as I said, I used to do this a lot in the past. When people compliment me, for example, instead of saying thank you, which I always had such a hard time, and actually I still have a hard time saying thank you to a compliment, I always try to turn it into a joke because I feel uncomfortable. For example, someone can tell me, "Oh wow, I love your outfit," and I would respond something like, "Oh, that's the only one that fits me." Because whatever I wear, I'm never comfortable in it. And I don't really believe when someone tells me, "Oh, you look good in that," in my brain, because of the self-criticism I have towards myself, always says, "Oh no, they're just being nice, they're just being, polite, saying that." So I try to reject that thank you, which is actually cruel. That's so cruel to talk about myself that way. And actually, it's also uncomfortable and cringy for the person in front of me because, girl, just say thank you. Why are you making this situation uncomfortable like that? Because you don't really believe in yourself, either how you look like or your career. We can be uncomfortable about many things because of the ego. The brain has this ego running, and it's just really based on criteria that the society and everything else has been feeding us since we were young, and those are the criteria we based our value and self-worth on, which is unfortunate. And that's why it's good to work on yourself so that you have your own criteria and not base whatever you think of yourself and others on what you have been listening to or consuming or even taught your whole life. So yeah, if you are anything like me, you can be your worst critique, the harshest one, the most cruel one. Like, people would compliment you more than you would compliment yourself. Okay, makeup done. I'm not the master of makeup. I'm not that good at makeup then. So don't judge me on that. While showing you some clips about my day, let's talk about the second bad habit, which is to accept things that you can change. If you always say, "This is just the way I am," or "This is just how my life is," then this one is for you. If you settle in any area of your life, your career, relationships, etc., thinking that's the best you can get, then you need to stop, because I have been there. I was that girl. I loved staying in my comfort zone, miserable but safe and comfy. With time, I realized that I was just trying to protect myself because I was scared to change. I wanted to stay in the comfort of what I knew and just accepted things as they were, although I can change them. I was able to, but I didn't want to. By doing that, I never grew. I stayed the same. Now I changed that belief, and so should you. Don't you want to make the most out of your life? Live whatever dream life you want? If yes, then you absolutely can. You just need to face your fears and go for that change, that uncomfortable feeling that you need to jump, even though you are not ready. Guess what? You will never be ready. It will always be scary, so just take that jump. You will be proud of yourself for doing that. Okay, can we talk about that building? Is a movie being filmed in there or something? I don't know what happened. It looks scary. Alright, I'm in a mood for a cafe, so let's go get some caffeine in my system and continue our conversation. Don't settle. Don't be happy with the bare minimum. Don't limit yourself and suppress your own potential. Aim high and push forward. You are braver than you give yourself credit for, and your goals are worth fighting for. The worst feeling in life is regret. Don't be one of those people who look back at their past and regret not trying. That's the worst. It's never too late to start, so go get it. The next point I want to talk about is blah 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 blue blah 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 boo boo bully blah blah blah. The next behavior that I think it's bad for our mental health and that I stopped doing is watching the news. And this is something me and my husband we disagree on because he thinks we should stay updated and educated and follow the news, which I agree with, but in my experience it really increased my anxiety and it just made me see the world like a shit place, which made me depressed and I hated it. To me, the news is a summary of the worst events happening because negative stuff is what piques people's interest. So the media, the corporate, they feed on our fear. This is really what I believe. I think you disagree, right?
Totally disagree.
Okay, here we go.
At the same time, you should know that there are some positive news.
But you know, you can barely see the positive news compared to the negative ones.
Because negative news are more important. Is more important to our lives because they impact our lives. Let's say like they're talking about the interest rate. Then we have to worry about next month bill, and we can think about the budget cuts and everything. We can make strategy.
I mean, I am not disagreeing with you. As I said at the beginning, I agree that we should stay updated and educated. I agree with that. But I'm just saying that in my experience, as someone who is sensitive to negative stuff, watching the news was part of the things that made me anxious. And it really impacted me, like, it influenced me a lot. Honestly, I never watched the news and it's benefited me personally in any way. I'm not encouraging people to stop watching the news, but I just like I am addressing people who want to reduce their anxiety because some people they keep the news as a background. The news are playing all day long, so maybe you shouldn't do like me and just cut the news once and for all, because as my dear husband suggests, it's very beneficial and we can plan and strategize and you know do many things, which I agree with again. And I would still participate in conversations where, for example, friends are gathering, they're talking about news and stuff. Of course, I'm gonna participate. It's not like I am allergic to news, but I am not consuming them at all, and I just feel better that way. Of course, I'm not telling you to stop watching the news, but rather consume them moderately and find a balance between positive and negative news. If you detect something in the news that worries you, acknowledge that and take that worry into consideration. Plan for it, see what you can do, and strategize, plan for it, and then forget about it. Do not let that worry control your whole day. And do something healthy after to balance that negativity with some positivity. Or, you're gonna hate me for it. Or, you can just stop watching the news and make your life easier. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please click like if you did. I hope that it was helpful to you somehow. I would love to hear from you in the comments, so do not hesitate to comment down below and let's discuss these habits together. My goal is to create a loving community where everyone helps each other to make this world a brighter place. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.